Today, I'm going to learn VFX in just 7 days. I've never done VFX before, so what you're about to see you can expect to learn in your first week of VFX. Now before we get into the video, what is VFX? You ever played like a Battlegrounds game, and you've seen all these fancy effects? Well, it's basically that. Anyway, let's get started. So for my first day of learning VFX, I had literally no idea what I was doing, so I did what any sane person would do. Just went looking for some tutorials. But for some reason, people must be like allergic to making tutorials on this, because my god, I could not find any. I did manage to find one person who made tutorials for beginners such as myself. This guy would be Historic, I don't know how you say his name. Now I learned various things from this video. I got shown these 3 useful plugins that will legit make learning VFX so much easier. I mean, I legit get an entire library of this shit. I also learned to use tweening and flipbooks to make like these other cool ass effects, you know. Now, I was actually going to make some VFX. So I'm being shown how to make a fire effect, so I just follow his every step, and yeah, it didn't really like work out. Just look at this. Mine looks so much worse than his. But this is my first VFX. It's an improvement, I guess. But with the basics learned, it's time to do my own thing. Figured I'd start with something simple and basic, right? But hell nah. I'm making a whole ass summoning circle. So I decided I want some sort of glowing shard, like just appear and notify that a summoning circle is about to spawn. So I started with that. And oh my lord, look how useful these other plugins are, bro. I can easily edit all these different parts of the VFX. One of these glowing shards wasn't enough, so I added an even bigger one in case you missed the first one. And here is where I run into my first problem. I want some sort of circle on the floor, right? But I only knew the very basics. I didn't even know how to position it like the VFX would be like on the floor. So I just used a decal and just did some tweening. Not my smartest move, but I guess it worked. I added another circle on the inside to make it look more summoning-like. And then I wanted it to glow, so I got some light and made it tween in and out. And after 20 minutes of tweening, we have my first VFX made without any tutorials. It's not great, but at the time, I felt like I entered a whole new world. I wanted to create more, but I was unsure what to make next, so I decided to ask my homies. Hello, huzzes. I need a VFX, so give me ideas.
Make some like freaking breaking rocks, something like that.
Okay, I can do that actually. Yeah, it's gonna be easy, trust. So, some new VFX in mind, it was time to continue my craft. We're gonna make some sort of breaking rock effect, so I'll start with the actual impact part. So in the background here, like times 20 speed, you can see the entire process. You can probably tell I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm trying, alright. Then when we actually get to the end result, it was definitely not what my friends wanted, but I decided to stop there and just go to the ground impact part. I needed to watch more tutorials if I wanted to do better. So as far as I am currently aware, there's 3 different types of VFX. You got the particle emitters, then you got trails, and finally, beams. I don't know about you, but beams sounds pretty fun. I watched a dozen tutorials and then just hopped into it like I knew what I was doing. I have a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do for this one. I want to do some sort of black hole beam. Sounds dope, I want it. Maybe you guys want it. I set up 2 parts, made the beam connect them. I found some pretty nice textures through that plugin and just shoved it on. And the texture alone looks pretty nice. So I customized that to my liking, but it didn't really feel like something from space yet. So I had some other beam inside that one and got this nice looking purple thing. And that's the main beam done, but we need to actually do the start point and end point. I wanted to go with the start point, but when I was making it, it just kind of looks like the actual impact part, so I just ended up swapping them. Now I just kind of added a bunch of stuff into this and used what I learned from the tutorials to make the impact part. And oh my god, why does it actually look good? Like, praise me guys. But anyway, I did some stuff to the starting point and made it actually look like a black hole, and it turned out alright. The entire thing turned out super good though, low-key proud of it. I ended up going away for a day and a half, but when I got back, I wasn't sure what to make and ended up just messing about, but I low-key couldn't make anything. But then, I found some inspiration. You know that dude from Final Fantasy VII? I wanted to make whatever that weird sword beam was. So I started working hard for 40 minutes straight, and here it is. And yeah, it kinda sucks. I have no idea what I was really doing. So time for some more tutorials. And now with some new skills in my skill tree, I'm ready to roll. So I knew what I wanted to do next, a big ass explosion. I wanted to start with some weird wind that kinda like fires off from the explosion's impact. And yes, I didn't even have to use a decal this time. Told you, I'm learning the craft. Then I needed to actually make the explosion effect. I had no idea how I was going to go about this, but I was actually doing some pretty good things, like hello, take a look at this. I'm pretty happy with it, and compared to my first VFX, I've come pretty far in just a few days. Next, I wanted to do some sort of sword slash. So I made 4 different bits of wind for some reason and just put a tiny slash. But to be fair, it doesn't look too bad. Maybe it's like a wind slash. I want to make some kind of aura for the players, and one that I'd probably need for my own game at some point is a healing effect. Let's start with that. And I was locked the fuck in for this one. I made some glowy ring on the floor and just spun that shit. Then I put a transparent ring inside that ring. The transparent one took a lot of messing about with, but eventually I got it looking a-okay. Next, I want to put some sort of healing wind surrounding the player and just slowly going up. I just emit that like 4 or 6 times, it looks pretty good. Next on my list was some orbs floating around, like healing particles, you know. I made a few and just shoved them on and it's not too bad. The final addition I want to make to this healing aura was just some like glowing green stuff at the bottom. Not the biggest fan of how the glowy green stuff turned out, but other than that, the overall healing aura looks pretty good. After creating that, I started to feel pretty confident about what I could do. So it's time to jump into my weakness and make a fire effect. So I made a fireball, and this was also my first time using trails. The main fire part looks more like a firework, but the actual fire trail looks decent. Now I was near the end of my 7-day time limit, and I want to put my all into this last VFX. So I was at work thinking about what I could do, and then I got it. A star formed from the sky which makes a little explosion. My ass rushed home and instantly hopped on studio and stole some star mesh. First, I need to figure out how to make the star actually spin. I've never really used velocity before, but hey, it can't be that hard. And oh my lord, first it just wouldn't move and fall. Then I got it working and made it go downwards, which worked fine, until I put some spin on it and it started going all over the place. It was going wild over and over, and after like 10 minutes I managed to make it work correctly. With that done, I can start the VFX. I started off by creating some small yellow shards, but obviously that's not enough, so I got some yellow dust that I could add to it, and it was already looking decent. I wanted to put a trail behind it. Getting it to work was a pain in the ass, but once it was positioned correctly, I had to start moving. It looked really nice. The effect wiggles through the air for some reason, it just won't fix, so I decided I'd just live with it. Now, it's time to work on the explosion part. Now this is a star explosion. I want it to be all shiny, so I got some big ass glow effects. And as you can see, the more I added to it, the more it started coming together. I want to get some debris on this, so I added some shards coming flying off the explosion. I also added another bit of wind which comes flying out and then fades away. And finally, I made some big ass explosion part, and that just kind of wraps up the entire thing. So I cut it all up, and here's the effect in game. It's a bit bright, but other than that, I'm happy with it. And this is the last VFX I made. The difference between my first VFX and the last one is crazy. It just goes to show how much you can really learn in just 1 week. I hope this motivates those who are also learning VFX to keep at it. No idea if I will, but it was an enjoyable experience and I got some new skills now. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and check out my other videos. Alright, adios!